Hi, I'm LaTanja Jones, and I'm the Collaboration and Outreach Director for Reston Community Center. I've been working for Reston Community Center for the last 3 years. For more information about our programs and classes, visit our website at restoncommunitycenter.com. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make homemade Play-Doh with things that you already have in your house. So here's the supplies you'll need to make your Play-Doh at home. You will need a bowl. You will also need a cup of flour, a half a cup of salt, and a half a cup of water. You will also need an airtight container. We like to recycle and reuse these ice cream containers that we have at home, and then a plastic bag. The good thing about Play-Doh is that it lasts up to 4 weeks if you keep it in the airtight container or in the plastic bag. Some optional supplies to make Play-Doh more fun at home are food coloring, because you can make different colors, cookie cutter, a play plastic knife, and a piece of paper where you can draw shapes on it, and I'll show you what you need to do with that later on, and also wax paper. So let's get started. First, what you want to do is grab your bowl and use your 1 cup of flour and put it inside of your bowl. Next, grab your half a cup of salt and also put in your bowl. After that, you want to grab the half a cup of water and gradually pour it in to the bowl. And this is where it's good to get the kids involved, because this part gets messy. So you will want to use your hands and just mix everything together. You want the Play-Doh to be firm, but also moldable. If it's too flaky, like it is right now, you just add a little bit more water. But if you feel like your Play-Doh is too wet or it's sticking a lot more than it should, then you need to add more flour. Trial and error, you'll have to play around with it and figure out what your Play-Doh needs. So this part takes a little bit of time to get the perfect texture. And now what you can do is take it out of the bowl and then just start mixing it back and forth. Oops. So as you see, we're getting to the point now where it's starting to create a firm texture to make really great Play-Doh. So I just like to keep going back and forth just to mix it in really well, and also it's fun to do as well. Very therapeutic. And your kids will love doing this as well, because it's something that they made. So this is pretty good because it's not sticking to my fingers. I'm actually able to pinch it and it stays. It creates different shapes and molds as I'm going back and forth. It's not too wet and it's not too dry. If it is too wet, then you want to add more flour until you get to this texture of Play-Doh. And if the Play-Doh is too dry, just keep adding water. You can stop right here and you can just start playing. But I also have some fun options for you to make the Play-Doh even more interesting. So what you can do is, I like to grab my wax paper because this part tends to get a little messy. And I put my Play-Doh on the wax paper, and I just like to take my thumb and press into the center of the Play-Doh, and just drop a couple drops of food coloring in the Play-Doh. So what you want to do is just fold the Play-Doh back and forth until the color is fully mixed in. So this is also fun for the kids to do because this gets really messy. Another thing you can do is you can separate your Play-Doh into 4 different parts, and you can make 4 different colors. We like to separate the colors, and I'll let my daughter know the different types of colors, like this is yellow or red or blue, and she's learned her colors that way. Next, what you can do is we like to roll the Play-Doh up, and we like to use my daughter's her little kitchen knife from her kitchen set, and we like to let her practice making cuts. Or she has a fork too, we like to let her practice picking up the Play-Doh with her fork, because this is also good motor skills as well that helps them practice with eating and learning how to use those utensils that they use every day when at home. Also, with our cookie cutters, this is fun as well because you can make different shapes. This one is a butterfly, and we like to use these too because she can pretend that she's actually cooking, and use it in her kitchen set. And then lastly, another thing that I like to do is, on this paper, I made different shapes. And what I like to do is put it under the wax paper. And she can practice, if you just tear off little pieces of the Play-Doh, she can practice making the shapes. By using those motor skills and using their pinchers to make the shapes. And making Play-Doh also helps develop those gross and fine motor skills that kids need at a young age. And it also helps them learn their shapes, their colors, and just offer them a lot of ways to have pretend play as well. So you can always let the child know this is a triangle, this is a circle, and a square. And eventually they'll get to the point where they can name it themselves, or hopefully you want them to get to a point where they can also draw the shapes themselves as well. And that's it. I'm LaTanja, and I had so much fun making Play-Doh with you today. For more information about our great programs, visit restoncommunitycenter.com.